did. And something came back to life inside of me. I went from like pretty much dead on the inside to like the flower growing back, and like this wild jungle now exists within me, and the beast is gonna roar. So it's good.
Right.
It's good. And yeah, she put a little leather slapper in my hand, and the world will forever suffer for that.
Right.
You know.
So which came first, the strap on or the slapper?
It was both, because the slapper was like this big, but the strap on was just hot. And so everything she did, I did, because like she had a recipe for success. So you duplicate the process, right?
Right.
And I did. So she had this beautiful submissive male that was like a professional dancer and gorgeous, ripped, everything, right? So I went out and I got me a submissive male dancer who was like littler, but he was just beautiful, gorgeous, and we used to make them do things and dress them and and have these
Dress them?
yes.
Like in women's clothing, or?
In anything, like they had like these like beaded head dresses or like whatever. They were so gorgeous.
No, no. Hannah's giving me a weird look, but my last girlfriend, she was on the dominant side, and that's part of the reason that we're not together, because it just didn't work. But she insisted, and probably still insists to this day, I would look beautiful in a pair of panties.
It's sexy. Even in my vanilla world before I got into this, I used to always try to get guys in my panties, and when I did, they only had to wear them for 2 seconds before I ripped the cock right out of it. I mean, literally.
Well, maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah. Like.
Well, she would rip my cock out anyway. But wow, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
So you had a great teacher then.
No, she was a terrible teacher. She was mean, no aftercare. She was horrible, but she was my girlfriend, so it didn't matter.
Okay.
Like, she wasn't dominating me,
Yeah.
I didn't, and the reason why we split was because I didn't have the same beliefs as her. I thought that pets were absolutely the most beautiful thing for submitting and surrendering themselves and serving the way they did. She was like, no, they're lowerly creatures beneath us. They will always be slaves, and they're worthless. And this, I was like,
So in your sex life now, who was dominant?
We both were.
Okay. Did you take turns, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were women. So we didn't use strap-ons on each other. They were
that.
strictly for the boys. And to this day,
No, but I mean,
they're strictly for the boys.
during sex, there's a little spanking, maybe hair pulling, things
None
like
of that.
that.
No,
really. Okay.
Just two women, lesbian, plain sex, boring.
So
boring.
your sex was vanilla, but then you would go out and.
It was lesbian, vanilla, whatever that is.
Okay.
But yeah, and then but our play or whatever, which would go on for days on end. Like, one would leave and another one would come in, and when we weren't doing that, she was usually traveling, but it was awesome, but we separated because we just didn't agree on some things. Like, I have a heart, and it was like,
Now, when you guys separated, did you start going to Sanctuary and hanging out with other people in the
At the
scene?
same time, I started dating a photographer, a fetish photographer, and he was the one who started taking me to Club Fuck and Cherry and all these other, yeah, and so he was the one who exposed me to like the LA BDSM community and scene, Ivy Manor, and the people, and so and we started throwing events, like dinners. With a fetish, like 5-course meal, with fetish entertainment and after party, and
a 5-course meal of food, or a 5-course meal of
food?
pain?
No, food, like a really nice meal, and then but also fetish. Eat the Rich was one of them. The feast of to eat the rich was one of them, and yeah, we just every other month we would throw a dinner party, 75 people, and then play party followed by a play party, and it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did that for a couple of years, and then he was, everybody's got issues, and so separated. But like I said, I ended up with this insane toy collection that was just like, what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to market it. Why not market it? So I did that, and then I became independent, and I worked independently for like 7 years. And a few years after once I became independent, my angry princess contacted me, and she was like, I just wanted to let you know that even though you were never submissive to me, you were always very loving, and which I was, and so because
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice compliment, a nice comeback. But
nice comeback.
Yeah. But it was, it's been an amazing journey of self-discovery,
which is still ongoing.
Absolutely. Because I am collared,
Oh,
but
really?
but I am not submissive by any means. However,
now tell me how that works, because as I said, I'm a dilettante. I'm not really in the scene. How can you be collared and not be submissive?
Well, maybe it's,
I know you're laughing, you know, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still figuring that one out, but I think it might be because I'm such a fetishist that I'm still exploring this role as a slave, and I don't know. I'm figuring that out.
I know, science says she's like, what a question. Do you know?
Well, yeah, actually, in our kink lifestyle, there's a lot of people who tend to surrender rather than submit.
Okay.
Because it's your choice. Like Remini is, she is, she. If anybody tries to tell her what to do, she'll take their head off and kind of stick it up their ass.
I've caught that already. Yeah.
And stuff, but she's chosen to serve me and be collared. And it's and that's something that I think is very precious. It's a gift.
I didn't know that was your collar. Pardon me.
You can't take someone's submission.
Right.
Okay, it has to be given to you. So it is a gift. And just because you surrender doesn't mean that you're submissive. I can relate to it because when I was collared, I've never been submissive. If somebody asks me for help, I will go to the end of the world. If they tell me, we got a different
Go to
story.
hell, yeah, right.
But so I totally relate to it. It's something that when you feel a connection, that you want to do for somebody. In the vanilla world, somebody may bring, candy or flowers or something because they enjoy making somebody else feel good. Right? In our world, it's about dominance and submission.
Yes.
And our play dynamic is great.
My God.
Oh, please.
The best.
Do tell.
The best. Why not serve? I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well go for the best, right? So.
Well, we know Cyan's the best, and I'm gonna get to that. But Joy, how did you get into the scene? Let's hear this story.
I would say, I don't know, you just kind of naturally go to this lifestyle. It's not like somebody teaches you. I have people that I work with that are like, I read a book or I watched a movie, and I'm like, no, I never read the story of I never saw the secretary. I never. In fact, I went to see 50 Shades of Grey, and I fell asleep in the movie theater. I thought it was so boring.
I don't think you were the only one.
I didn't watch it.
So boring.
Well, to you, I'm sure it would be, yeah.
And when I was young, I was really into bondage. I really like bondage, and the music I think is what took me to BDSM, especially like Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails and just a lot of these bands in their videos.
So industrial music and imagery.
Yeah, the imagery and there was a lot of fetish in there, and it's very sexy and.
That's really what's missing on MTV now. They don't,
Right.
In the 90s, they had a lot of kinky videos.
Yeah.
And now it's a little kink, but it's not, Lady Gaga.
It's very commercial.
Yeah, it's very 50 Shades of Grey kink, not the hardcore stuff.
Yay, 50 Shades of Grey.
I don't even know what I was doing when I was 18, but the minute I could, I went and I found my first dungeon. And I'm from the Valley. I'm actually from Burbank.
Right.
So, nearby there was
North
a dungeon.
Hollywood?
Yeah, North Hollywood, the
okay.
Chateau. And I wandered in there, and I met Mistress Melissa. She still works with us at Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And
Tell her I said hi. I haven't seen her in a while.
yeah, and she was the headmistress there, and she was very kind, and I worked there for a little bit, and I don't think that the timing was right at that time for me to really get into it, and I took a break for a couple of years, and I got in a really boring relationship.
That'll drive you straight to.
Yeah, and I was vanilla, and I was doing everything that society told you should do, and I was bored, and I felt dead inside as well. And once again, I went searching for it again. Like, I had to have it. Like, it doesn't feel normal to not do it.
Right.
And not being myself. And
well, what was it like when you walked in the first time to the lair? Because I actually did stand up there once. It was funny. They had a thing, they had a kinky summer thing, and I did stand up, and I had to do I earned my money because they were waiting on like a performance troupe that had powder wigs and danced to the Rock Me On My Days, but I had to follow Orpheus.
Oh.
I had to follow Orpheus. I had to follow Charlie doing rope. I had to follow.
Charlie was my rope top for. I was his rope bottom for 2 years.
Yeah, and Charlie, God rest his soul, rest in peace. He was the best. I had to follow. I forget the guy's name, but he used to saran wrap girls and forget them till they came.
Simon Blaze.
Yeah. And I was doing jokes in between, so I definitely earned my money.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, it was fun. But it was like I hadn't been to that many. I mean, I'd been to clubs that had fetishes, but I think that might have been my first lair I've been to. So, what was it like for you to just walk in and see all that stuff happening? Was there anything that shocked you, or was there anything